Welcome everybody. I'm trying to explain to you why we are doing these videos. We are going to replace the Moonbeams Mahamudra course of April this year by a series of teachings that Yuan and I are going to give together. We decided for English language, which makes things easier for all the following translations. Uli is translating you right now, simultaneously, and then other translators will translate into French and Portuguese and perhaps even other languages.
Maybe
Greek, yes, is very probable. So, and for this, the English language is the better starting language. And already for the German-speaking practitioners, we have so many good audios, some videos, very many texts, so actually the German-speaking ones are very fortunate. We have done already 6 courses of 8 days each on the Moonbeams of Mahamudra. This is the book of Dakpotashi Namgyal, which Elizabeth Callahan translated into English. It came out when we were already starting course 5, so from then on we have been following it. But for now, for this period where we are very often at home, some of us in curfew, some of us in home office or half retreat, then Yuan and I thought we'd follow a little bit different approach. Originally the idea was to repeat the chapters and to give summaries of the chapters so that you will actually find your way into the practice according to this book. But actually there are so many people at home right now and so many people could benefit from these teachings that we decided to give them in a much more essentialized way, very basic, very essential, in very simple language, and not referring to the pages of the book, just being inspired by this transmission and also the many other Mahamudra manuals that we have been teaching and reading. And so we will teach directly from the inspiration of the moonbeams touching our heart. We will try. We will open up to the blessing and let you follow step by step in a series of short sequences dealing with simple themes, one after the other, one leading into the next. Each one maybe being dealt with hopefully in something like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. We will find out what is needed. So right now, today, for you, this is an overview of what we are planning to do, but actually we will follow very much the inspiration of how it develops as we take the videos. And we beg your pardon for improvisation along the way. This is
possible to avoid at that stage.
Yes. We are very happy to be able to communicate with you like that. So, thank you very much and let's start. Adrian, can we already start with the next?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When contemplating how to enter deep practice now, I feel that the most important thing to be reminded of is how helpful and central it is to be aware. Simply that. Retreat begins with the wish to be aware and with the understanding that there is nothing else to do except that. So if we want to use a little period or a large period of our life to develop our spiritual practice, to continue on the path of awakening, of liberation, then it will always be one practice, to be aware. So even before we understand any methods, before we have been taught anything, we can already do the most simple practice of all, which is to sit down somewhere, to rest, and to be aware of just how it is to be. And it is that awareness that will actually lead to all the insights. Awareness is that which is needed to understand reality. And Dharma, you know this famous word in the Buddhist tradition, Dharma practice, Dharma teaching, actually means to become aware of just how it is, and thus be liberated from illusion, from misunderstanding reality, of not knowing how the mind works, how illusion creates itself, how it is maintained by patterns in our mind and so on. How emotions arise, how they dissolve. In order to penetrate to, you can say, the essence or the real nature of life, we need awareness. So that's the beginning, middle, and end of our practice.
I would add that at the onset, at the beginning of undertaking any retreat, any practice, to engage on the spiritual path, our confidence in this liberating quality, liberating power of awareness is an absolute key factor. The more confidence we have in this, the more we can actually let awareness do the work, let awareness do the practice without trying too hard, without adding too many complications. So I think maybe in order to illustrate this liberating power, then we have really to trust that it's happening in a very, very natural, spontaneous way. Maybe the classic example, and actually the easiest example, is the one of the dream, yes? So whenever you have dream, bad dream, nightmare, very good dream, pleasurable dream, then you wake up. Then actually the moment of waking up, even if there is still the resonance of the dream, the emotional resonance of the dream, the fear of the nightmare can still resonate, or the wish for this dream to be everlasting if it was a very pleasurable one. This can resonate in our system for some minutes, for some hours. But just by the fact of being aware that this was a dream, just by being aware of that, this is much easier to let go. Whatever has happened in the dream, just by this. So this is a very spontaneous, natural quality. And of course, it is possible to go further than that. It is possible to become aware within the dream that we are dreaming, which has also a very spontaneous, automatic, liberating quality. Yeah. Then, if you have nightmares, you can actually go and hug the monsters. Or if you are in God realm with a lot of pleasurable sense experiences, you can enjoy them without being caught in their taste, in their nectar-like taste. So this is possible. And then, even further than that, actually in every experience, as well in the waking state, to discover this liberating quality of awareness. By discovering the fact that actually conditions coming together are also very much dreamlike. Yeah? So this is then the whole path to be able to discover more and more this liberating quality within the waking state. But our confidence, it depends very much on how much confidence we have. The efficiency of the path will depend on that very much. So at the onset, to develop this trust and to make aspirations to really develop more and more confidence and clarity about this liberating quality of awareness is, I think, very, very important.
Which leads us over to a second aspect of awareness. Now, when we have talked like this about awareness leading to insight and understanding, awareness leading into awakening, waking up from a dream of believing certain things to be real, we might get a little bit too much into the direction of an awareness that knows, like an intellectual awareness. The awareness we talk about is a heartfelt awareness. It is not an awareness sitting up here where we try to be attentive and try to understand, but actually this awareness which we are talking about is a relaxed, intuitive awareness coming, so to speak, from the heart. It's not the organ of the heart. It's a matter of talking when we say it comes from the depths of our being, from the very inside, from that dimension where we also feel love and compassion. It's a warm awareness. It's a soft awareness. It's not separating, not creating some observing distance. It is an awareness of being from deep within without creating a center. So it is an awareness which includes all the heart qualities. Try to do it for a moment with me if we sit here and instead of being aware through eyes and ears and intellectual faculties, how it is to be using them as well, together with an inner intuitive feeling of how it is to be living this situation. All senses open and feeling it from the heart. We are immediately entering an area where we are not so sure, right? We cannot grasp so easily. We are feeling our way into something constantly changing. And here we are with our first practice. Anywhere, wherever we are. To be aware with that inner sensitivity. This feels important to me to to specify that when we talk about awareness, we will talk a lot about it. That we are always talking about this heartfelt awareness. We call it in Buddhist terms the union of compassion and wisdom. It's understanding which unites all of it. It's uniting the understanding, which is called wisdom, with the understanding, the sensitivity that is called compassion. It's an intuitive presence which is so open that it automatically understands.
So the quality of awareness is inseparable from the warmth. We could call this warmth love or compassion, loving kindness, compassion. It is like actually the spontaneous joy arising from being aware, for getting extremely close, extremely intimate with everything, with what is, without resistance. The resistance against what is what brings like the constriction of the heart, the opposite experiences of identification, solidification. Yeah? Whereas this awareness, which is basically manifesting as soon as there is no more manipulation, no more attempt to correct anything, to impose anything upon the mind, upon our experience. This automatically then is radiating warmth. It is spontaneous compassion. It is, of course, stimulated by all our experiences with the world, inner and outer experiences, but it is like there in a spontaneous way. It is not depending on meeting a situation requiring to be compassionate. Yeah? It is the very nature of this radiance, you can say. This is the very nature of, this is who we truly are, indeed. And so in the same way that by tuning into this very natural awareness, this quality of warmth automatically are there. The other way around, it is also true. By tuning into these qualities, by developing, by letting loving kindness resonate, taking the time, giving space for this to resonate, automatically the quality of natural awareness will appear, will develop. So it is a main entrance door in the Mahamudra tradition, and in actually every Buddhist every meditative tradition, probably every spiritual path, the main entrance door to practice, to let loving kindness overwhelm us. This quality is already so much relaxing so much the solidity, the solidification. Yeah? So the dreamlike quality, you can say, or the fluidity, natural fluidity of mind reveals itself as soon as we let such qualities, loving kindness, compassion, gratitude, and all the other heart qualities, as long as we let them unfold and take over, so to speak. So this is also something that we will probably mention again and again, that this inseparability of the two, natural awareness is naturally loving and warm. And warmth, compassion, loving kindness is automatically leading into the most open form of awareness when it is genuine, when it is not also when you let it totally unfold. Yeah?
Would you like to continue straight on with the next point?
Straight on.
To be aware without stress, it feels like the natural continuation?
It's the natural continuation, yes. So stress is the word we use now to translate what has been often, so dukkha in Sanskrit, or Pali, which is often translated as suffering, expressed as suffering. So now stress is a more general translation and matches very much you can say the original meaning of the word. this stress that we might encounter, this lack of flexibility, of fluidity, these experiences of control that are taking place all the time, that are trying to impose everything. Actually, originally, when we speak about stress in the old Sanskrit language, it means actually, ka means actually the very center of the wheel of the chariot. And dush means like it it's not fluid. There is some blockages. So you are going for a bumpy ride. Dukkha etymologically means like uneasy. Means like you are actually, that the chariot cannot go in a very fluid way. Yes? So exactly that easy, this is exactly the same happening in the mind. Whenever there is control, whenever there is an attempt to own or experience, and this is taking place out of habit, very naturally, also, unfortunately, then this is the experience of a bumpy ride. This is the experience of stress. Yeah? So the practice of awareness, the practice of the path is first to meet this experience, to get closer to it, to see its mechanism, to see how, while the chariot is not going, is not rolling so good. And then by simply getting closer and closer, then through what we have been describing before, through the natural liberating quality of awareness, the application of the experience of open heart, the qualities starting to be felt and to overwhelm us, automatically this experience will be freed, will be relaxed. So being aware without stress, like experience, when we talk about relaxation, what we mean that we are actually practicing letting go of control. Based on this trust, the trust in awareness and the trust in these qualities, we are practicing more and more this incapacity to apply our control. This trust that there is no need to control. This trust that we can allow ourselves to fall into the unknown. All these are different expressions to say the same thing. And all this leads to this experience of being aware without stress. To experience the release of stress.
If I summarize the last 3 steps, this is the basic attitude for practice. I take it from the point of view of someone who has forgotten what practice is about, and I get up in the morning and I wonder, what am I doing here? And then I remember, okay, somehow it's all about being aware. Yes. Yeah, being aware. Yeah, but being aware from the heart. Okay, so go into the heart, being aware from there. And then without stress. So not making a hard stress to be aware, but to be aware and to trust, like Johan explained, to trust that awareness is something natural. It's a natural capacity of mind, a natural faculty of mind. This is what is automatically there when we wake up and we become present. So far we don't have to do anything. And that's the ground of practice, and that's what we will always practice. No matter how many explanations are given, this is the one path of awakening. To be aware from the heart without stress.